know, once you make it to a certain level, the streets gonna still be calling you. And that's one of the things that I emphasize in the book. The main character, he basically was out there selling dope and doing all these crazy things. But he was real young, hot-wired cars and all that. But he wanted to do something different. He developed a talent within himself and he pursued that talent. But at the same time, he still had ties to the streets because he was hustling. So he was 50% with being real. And 100% is what you need if you don't want to have a backlash for the streets to come back and haunt you. And that's what happened. If you're going to do it and do right, be 100%. That's all I can tell you. You can't have stuff.
So as like an OG, what kind of advice would you give, you know what I'm saying, these younger niggas out here as far as like overcoming like death, for example, which is, you know, sometimes, man, we young and we innocent, and shit like that, shocking about our innocence.
Yeah, I mean, man, I know a lot of cats, they young and they just wilding out that I was there, you know, and I didn't want to listen to nothing or do nothing, but I always had common sense, you heard? It's just like, man, you just gotta really, just don't put yourself in them situations. You really gotta stay out of those elements that where these things happen at. Like, a couple of my cousins, they go into clubs that people get killed at every week. That's right there, you can't do that. You gotta stop going to that club and put yourself in a whole different environment, or at least attempt to. You see what I'm saying? So it's basically an environment you put yourself in, and a situation you put yourself in. Don't do it. And then you have a better chance.
Now earlier you spoke on like how much it hurt you, you know what I'm saying, when it seemed like you was down for the count. I experienced a little bit myself. Young nigga at the time getting money, little names for myself.
Yeah.
And I would go to court and catch cases and be walking for the motherfuckers. Or if I got shot, everybody at the hospital. But if I fell off, my money was real bad. It looked like this nigga ain't getting back. So once I really got that time, is it the same for you?
Yeah, man, that's when you realize when you at your least and at your worst, that's when you realize who really there for you. I mean, if it's your girl, she gonna be there. It's like that. If it's your family, they gonna be there. They gonna fall off. I mean, at your lowest is when you really know, man, this person really love me unconditionally. At your highest, you're not gonna be able to tell because they got these masks on. So that's the only good thing that come out of bad situations is you really get to know who your family and who your friends really are. And when it's doing good, you know who the highlight.
Right, so as far as the penitentiary itself, what was your lowest point while you was in there? You know what I'm saying?
Well, my lowest point was basically for me because I just dealt with it a whole different way. I never slumped or held my head down and stuff because I always had the faith that something was going to shake for me, you know what I'm saying? But my lowest point for me being there, honestly, was just being away from my kids, and that was it. I couldn't be there for their birthdays and all this type stuff, and they always, my daughter was so young, she'd be saying, Dad, when you coming to my birthday? And I had to say no, so that was it. Real. And it hurt me to couldn't even make the proper decisions to where I couldn't even provide in certain terms and show my face and my presence. That's the main thing, but I mean, as far as a black man, a father, we gotta be there. It ain't no in between. It can't never be 98% or 99%. It gotta be all the way. They ain't gonna feel right if you're a real man. You see what I'm saying? Fathers, be role models. But I feel like the reason that I feel like crime is even worse nowadays is because there's a younger generation that's doing it now. And that's what hurt us and affects us. You know, because if you see the younger generation is going to keep getting younger and younger every year. So that's the part that's the wild downfall.
Can I ask you about that? Because I looked at your my name is Dan Baum. I write for the New Yorker magazine. I looked at your MySpace site. And there's a lot of kids who are writing in and they're really like digging this thug life, you know, and I mean, you chronicle what's going on the street, but to what extent are you promoting it? When are you like attracting kids in? I mean,
just like with my book, I'm trying to teach the kids the reality of what's going on, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything what I say. But at the end of the situation, at the end of the conversation, there's going to be a strong message letting them know that you can't live like this, and if you keep living like this, sooner you're going to end up in jail or something's going to happen to you, you're going to die. And I'm letting them know that music is entertainment, these books are entertainment, but it is a message that I can relate to you by using that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when they see me in person, it's a whole different ballgame. They realize what type of person I am and how I carry myself, and then it reflects on them. I had a lot of inspiration. Kids say I gave them inspiration like that.
That's what I at least see. We can't forget about the Almighty Lord above. Speak on that a little bit. That faith.
I'm gonna tell you some real talk. When I first got to jail, I was like, man, Why me? I didn't do this. Why me? Then, so my faith, I was losing faith. Every year that passed, I'm losing more faith. Then my family got to me and said, you can't lose faith, so you gotta walk by faith, not by sight. You can't lose it, you'll never get out here. And that's when I got serious and said, from this day on, I'm still gonna hold my faith and go. And that's just how it is. And once I started doing that, committing myself 110%, that's when everything started happening right there. So I know it's real, it ain't no, it's my testimony, this really happened.
Y'all as like older G's around here, y'all kind of try to keep the activity down with the youngins, man, all at each other and all that?
Right, well, we don't get in their business or nothing, but you know, we can know when we gotta move or when we get in, you know, we talk them down, you know, we keep it good around here, you know what I'm saying? We got to keep it good, you know what I'm saying? Or it might come back on us.
Okay, you know how like in some neighborhoods, especially up north, man, like there's a real lack of respect for like older niggas. Like I'm 37 years old, so my generation, I always respected the older niggas before me. Even a nigga a little younger than me that know more than me, I respect, you know, what another nigga did. But the new generation, at least up top, they don't fucking respect the older motherfucker till they like in trouble. They in jail or in a fucked up predicament. Then they want to go run to an older nigga, but for the most part, they don't listen. It's a different level of respect down here with y'all?
You know, it's the same thing. It's just that you got to know when and when not to say something or when to get into somebody's business. You know, it's still the same level of respect. It's just who you is, you know what I'm saying, and how you represented it. You know what I'm saying? They'll listen, you know what I'm saying, and opposed to somebody else who probably was nothing, they had no respect coming up. You know, they can't tell them nothing.